We are here at the Martinsville Speedway for the first Data 500. It's the final race of the round of 12, and Brad Keselowski has already locked himself into the Final Four at Homestead-Miami. Which three other drivers will join Brad in the Final Four at Homestead? Now let's take a look at your drivers to watch here at the Martinsville Speedway. Alex Bowman starts on pole today as looking to get his first win of the season. The Hendrick cars have been really fast today, and they are hoping to get at least one of them into victory lane. Can Bowman do that for Team Hendrick? Brad Keselowski was your winner at the Charlotte Roval and has locked himself into the Final Four at Homestead-Miami. He could spoil someone's day with a win here today. Could he possibly do it? Kyle Larson starts 8th today and has a fast car this weekend. He's learned that he's going to be released by Chip Ganassi Racing after the season, but has a deal lined up for racing next season. So can he manage to get a win here in his last two races for Chip Ganassi Racing? Now let's send it trackside to our pit reporters for our Pro Gear Tire pre-race stories.
A driver not feeling the pressure today is Brad Keselowski. He won last race at the Charlotte Roval and has punched his ticket into the Final Four. He starts 3rd today. Could he possibly get another win? Daniel.
The other two Penske teammates, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano, both start outside the top 10 today. Both cars have struggled this week and need good days today if both drivers want to make the Final Four at Homestead-Miami. Jennifer.
Daniel Suarez, Daniel Hemrick, and Ryan Newman all start around the top 10 mark today. They are also all below the playoff cut line. They need a good day if they want to make it into the finals at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Back to you, Aiden.
Thanks, Jennifer, and to all our pit reporters. Now let's take a look at your playoff standings after the Charlotte Roval. Ryan Blaney's 8 points up, but Jimmy Johnson's 5 points up, and Austin Dillon are 3 points up. Those are your current top 4. While Suarez is 3 down, Hemrick is 4 down, Newman's 5 down, and Logano is 10 down. But it's anybody. If anyone has a bad day, then they could plummet in the standings, and if anyone has a good day, then they could flourish in the standings. So it's anybody's race here at Martinsville. Now let's take a run down the Martinsville Speedway on our GoPro on-track car. They will start in a new format on the race crate as they will go down the front stretch to the new max track curve, then down over to a short corner to the fat track to the finish line. Now let's head to trackside for the command of fire engines.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, President of First Data, Guy Chiarello.
All right, on behalf of First Data and all of you fans in Martinsville, drivers, start your engines!
Frank, when you're ready. All right, bud, fire it up when you're ready then.
The engines have been fired and we are ready to go racing here at the Martinsville Speedway. Your pace car driver today is McMahon. He is driving the 2016 Lamborghini Centenario, as he will be out whenever there is a caution and when the field needs to be led down. Now we're ready for segment 1 to begin. In row 1 is the 88 car of Alex Bowman and the 42 car of Kyle Larson. In row 2, a playoff driver, the 41 car of Daniel Suarez, and the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. Then in row 3, another playoff driver, the 12 car of Ryan Blaney, and the 19 car of Martin Truex Jr. Then rounding out in the field in the 01 car is Kiko Moon. Alex Bowman wins segment number 1 in dominant fashion as he led every single lap. But another driver who will be in trouble is Ryan Blaney. He gets wrecked by Denny Hamlin as Denny Hamlin tried to cut in front of Ryan Blaney. And that means Ryan Blaney will have to go through the 4th and 5th race. And he probably needs to get into the 2nd and 3rd race to move on to the Final Four. But Alex Bowman 1st, Daniel Suarez 2nd, Kyle Larson 3rd, Denny Hamlin 4th, Ryan Blaney in 5th, Martin Truex Jr. 6th, and then Kiko Moon in 7th. Now we move on to segment number 2. In row 1, 2 playoff drivers, the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. In row 2 is the 8 car of Daniel Hemrick and the 22 car of Joey Logano. In row 3, the 21 car of Matt Crafton, and the 43 car of Bubba Wallace. Then rounding out the field, in the 1 car is Kurt Busch. Jimmie Johnson wins segment number 2 in dominant fashion, just like his teammate Alex Bowman did in segment 1. He let everybody else stay behind him and did a good job. But another 2 playoff drivers will not move on to the second and third race are Daniel Hemrick and Joey Logano. Those guys are also going to have to work their way forward, and it's going to be tough for them to get points if they don't work their way forward. So Jimmie Johnson finishes first, Matt Crafton in his final start in the 21 car finishes second, Austin Dillon third, Daniel Hemrick fourth, Joey Logano 5th, Kurt Busch in 6th, and Bubba Wallace in 7th. Now we move on to segment number 3. In row 1, last race winner Brad Keselowski and the 81 car of Eddie Gallagher. In row 2 is the 18 car of Kyle Busch and the 17 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. In row 3 is the 28 car of Joseph West and the 95 car of Matt DiBenedetto. Then rounding out the field, in the 4 car is Kevin Harvick. Brad Keselowski will win segment 3 in dominant fashion as well. But look, going back to lap 2, watch Ricky Stenhouse Jr. here. He avoids a wreck between Kyle Busch and Eddie Gallagher to move himself into second position, and that was where he would finish. Here's a look at it in the finish line cam. Here it is. Look at this move. He dives low and avoids a wreck. Great driving by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 17 car. In lap 4, a great job by Brad K to keep everyone behind him and to get the jump. But Joseph West, in a good performance, is going to end up finishing second. So Brad Keselowski is going to win this segment. Joseph West in second, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. third, Eddie Gallagher fourth, Kyle Busch in fifth, Kevin Harvick sixth, and Matt DiBenedetto in seventh. Now we move on to segment number 4, the final segment. In row 1, another Hendrick car, the 24 car of William Byron, and the 14 car of Clint Bowyer. In row 2, another playoff driver, the 6 car of Ryan Newman, and the 10 car of Eric Almirola. In row 3, another Hendrick teammate, the 9 car of Chase Elliott, and the 20 car of Eric Jones. Then rounding out the field, in the 35 car is Myatt Snyder, and the 13 car of Ty Dillon. William Byron wins segment number 4 and will join his other 200 teammates, Jimmie Johnson and Alex Bowman, in the final stage, as he did a good job to keep everyone behind him. But Ryan Newman will not move on to the second and third race, and it's going to be a tough 4th and 5th race, as 4 playoff drivers are going to be competing in that segment. But great driving by William Byron to move on to the final stage. So, William Byron finishes first, Eric Almirola finishes second in a great performance today, Clint Bowyer third, Ryan Newman fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, Myatt Snyder in sixth, Eric Jones in seventh, and Ty Dillon in eighth. We'll take a quick break and be right back with the remainder of the race. Welcome back. It is now time for the Ninja Cafe mid-race reports. Let's send it trackside to Dave. Dave?
With his segment win today, Jimmie Johnson has joined Brad Keselowski in the Final Four at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Win or not, It will be a great day for Jimmy Johnson.
Playoff drivers Ryan Blaney, Daniel Hemrick, Joey Logano, and Ryan Newman all had poor segment races and will have to all compete in the 4th and 5th race. Only the driver who finishes first will move on to the 2nd and 3rd race. Will one of those drivers move their way into the Final Four? Back to you, Aiden.
Thanks, Daniel, and to all of our pit reporters. Great job by you guys. Now it's time for the 6th and 7th race, which will be led down by the 19 car Martin Truex Jr. and the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Which driver will work their way to the 4th and 5th race? Martin Truex Jr. wins the 6th and 7th race and will move on to the 4th and 5th race. He managed to keep his teammate Eric Jones and Kevin Harvick behind him to take the race win, as Martin Truex Jr. is going to finish first, Eric Jones 2nd, Kevin Harvick in 3rd, Bubba Wallace 4th, Kurt Busch 5th, Matt DiBenedetto 6th, Myatt Snyder in 7th, and Kiko Moon in 8th. So now we move to the 4th and 5th race, which have 4 playoff drivers. But the segment will be led down by a non-playoff driver, Eddie Gallagher, as the playoff drivers are going to need to pass Eddie Gallagher if they want to have a chance. So who will take the win? Eddie Gallagher wins the 4th and 5th race, and that means that Ryan Newman, Daniel Hemrick, and Joey Logano are all eliminated from the Final Four contention. Ryan Blaney has still a chance, and we'll explain that in a little bit. So Eddie Gallagher 1st, Kyle Busch 2nd, Ryan Newman 3rd, Daniel Hemrick 4th, Denny Hamlin 5th, Joey Logano 6th, Ryan Blaney 7th, and Chase Elliott in 8th. Now we move on to the 2nd and 3rd race. In row 1 is the 41 car of Daniel Suarez and the 10 car of Eric Almirola. In row 2 is the 21 car of Matt Crafton and the 28 car of Joseph West. In row 3 is the 14 car of Clint Boyer and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. In row 4 is the 42 car of Kyle Larson and the 17 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Then rounding out the field is the 81 car of Eddie Gallagher. So this is how the playoff situation works. Ryan Blaney moves on if the 41 car of Suarez finishes 8th or 9th, or if Austin Dillon finishes 9th. If nothing happens, then the Suarez and Dillon both move on to the Final Four. So who will move on to the final stage? Daniel Suarez is going to win the 2nd and 3rd race and move on to the final stage, along with Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Kyle Larson. It looks like Kyle Larson gets turned by Ricky Stenhouse Jr. there, but Kyle Larson manages not anybody else in front of him and will take that final spot in the final stage. So Suarez finishes 1st, Austin Dillon 2nd, Stenhouse 3rd, Larson 4th, Eddie Gallagher 5th, Boyer in 6th, Matt Crafton 7th, Joseph West 8th, and Eric Almirola in 9th. Now we move on to the final stage. In row 1 is the 200 teammates, the 88 car of Alex Bowman and the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. In row 2, the 2 car of Brad Keselowski and the 24 car of William Byron. In row 3 is the 41 car of Daniel Suarez and the 3 car of Austin Dillon. Then rounding out the field is the 17 car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and the 42 car of Kyle Larson. So who will win here at Martinsville and get a win on the season? Alex Bowman is your winner here at the Martinsville Speedway, as he led up at every lap, but came close to almost losing this race in lap 1, as everyone came swarming and he got spun out. But he managed to hold on and managed to hold off everyone else for the victory, as he will get his first win on the season. It was a great job by Alex Bowman to secure the win and to prevent everyone from passing him. So Alex Bowman first, Brad Keselowski second, William Byron third, Jimmy Johnson fourth, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. fifth, Daniel Suarez sixth, Austin Dillon seventh, and Kyle Larson in eighth. Now it's time for Danny's Donut Shop victory celebration as Alex Bowman burns it down here at Martinsville. Alex Bowman with a very big victory and wins here at Martinsville, as a great job by him, but more as he got eliminated from the playoffs in the round of 12. So now let's take a look at your finishing positions. Alex Bowman first, Keselowski gets good second place, Byron a third place performance, Stenhouse a fifth place. Other notables are Joseph West with 12th, Matt Crafton 11th in his final start for the Wood brothers, as Paul Menard will return in Homestead-Miami for the final race of the season. Denny Hamlin 17th, and yeah, there was some. Now here are your 21st through 29th, as some drivers who didn't really have a good day and are hoping for a better job next season, as they haven't had the best season of seasons so far. So here are your 4 drivers contending for a championship next race at Homestead-Miami. It is the 2 car of Brad Keselowski, the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson, the 3 car of Austin Dillon, and the 41 car of Daniel Suarez. Those 4 will contend for the championship, as here's your playoff standings. Blaney, Hemrick, Newman, and Joey Logano had all terrible Martinsville races, and really just threw the season out the window in this race, as they had chances but couldn't execute. So Alex Bowman is your winner here at the Martinsville Speedway, and your final 4 have been determined for Homestead. So join us next race at the Homestead-Miami Speedway to determine your champion and who will win the first season of the NASCAR Hot Wheels Cup Series. So I'm Abe North, and I'll see you at Homestead-Miami Speedway.